Thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, appreciate the invite. Everything's good. Everything's awesome. So yeah, thanks much appreciate the invite on the live stream. And yeah, hope we'll have a good convo here.
Yeah, yeah, no, I think we will. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff to talk about. So I guess I'll kind of introduce you a little bit, and then you can introduce yourself. Um, Essentially, I know you from X because you've covered like a whole bunch of protocols, a whole bunch of traders. Kyle the writer. I mean, you write about. You've probably written about like 100 different types of traders and protocols at this point in prediction markets. So
Okay, kinda.
yeah, so just in terms of like coverage of the space, I feel like you've covered a lot of the space and you have a good perspective. But yeah, if you want to kind of introduce yourself and yeah, just let people know who you are.
Okay, my name on X is Clawdbot. Uh, in public in prediction markets, I'm about for 6 months or maybe a bit more. I started with uh, covering the themes about fake volumes on limitless and so on. We had a little exposure on them, and then we've moved to pool market to its ecosystem. I tried to observe everything I just found in the space, and the size, the width of whole market ecosystem makes me like, wow, okay, we got already over 100, 200 different projects, protocols. You can stake, you can yield, you can automatize the trade and so on. Yeah, and that sounded great. And a little before, I tried to trade prediction markets myself, and when I started discovering pool market ecosystem, I moved like almost all my trading funds to pool market, and yeah, we had a great time. We have a great time trading prediction markets with members of the space. We have voices, we have chats, and it's a great time to join the prediction markets.
So what kind of inspired you to get in? Like, were you trading crypto before? Were you trading normal, like stocks, normal assets? What were you doing like right before prediction markets?
I had not the best experience farming testnets, retro jobs, and so on. Something like that. Then uh, there was a there was a great cycle of meme coins, of Meteora, of liquidity pooling. Yeah, there were big gains and big losses. And on the final, I burned like 8% of my bankroll of this time. And yeah, I said myself, okay, we're not gambling anymore. We're not touching meme coins. And I went into something like FK mode. I just read it, some literature. I'm continue studying. Recently I started learning finance. This takes a lot of time and efforts, to be honest. And yes, I got invited to private community called the Super Cycle by its CEO, and he said like, "Okay, man, I see you diving into prediction markets, and yeah, let's join us." And yeah, the community of people who also writing about prediction markets, of people who also trade prediction markets, uh, good or not good enough, it pays off. It much pays off.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was a similar experience to me also. Like I was in crypto for a long time and I was just trading and I was getting really tired of the manipulation. Really tired of like the same markets over and over again. And I just, I jumped into prediction markets because I think like many people, I felt it was like a place where there was less manipulation. That's not even true. Come to find out, that's definitely not true. But but at the same time, it's still a new market that's kind of still a little bit untouched by like the Black Rocks of the world, at least for now. So that's kind of why I jumped into it. Very similar to you. Um, Okay, so I kind of we talked a little bit about this before you coming on, but I think one of the major topics that you wanted to talk about is, the like the Clawdbot stuff, right? I mean, we've
Oh,
seen,
it's
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
that's a hot theme nowadays because I'm scrolling my feed on X, and yeah, it's like each second post is about Cloudbot, or okay, whatever they were called. And yeah, almost each creator tried to copy paste this format. It's like it sounds like I told my cloud bot to earn 25,000 overnight, or I will kill him. Okay, something like that. And this kind of pisses off because this stuff is all written, rewritten, copied by hundreds of creators, non-qualified creators. Because if you ask them how do the cloudbot operates, okay, they it can't even explain how, which triggers it follows, which market conditions it should face, and so on. Such a lot of cool videos, a lot of cool short videos you can see on X about visualization of trading bots work. Uh, it's like it's too easy to generate with AI. I've talked to one creator today, and yeah, he told he simply sent me the prompt how to how to generate this video. And yeah, it's kind of weird because all content nowadays, a lot of content nowadays is AI written, AI is everywhere, and it becomes complicated for average user to detect it because such hooks, such lines of text uh, attracts a lot of uh, a lot of traction, gets a lot of traction. And Uh, in my opinion, it's not fair enough for real creators who write the results, who trade prediction markets, who share their profits, and so on. And that's why X develops new policy updates and so on. Prediction markets on the aim right now. X recently said that it will eliminate the problem of prediction markets flood and so on. And I don't like it because we got this policy from these creators, from exactly these creators. Yeah, that's it. Because okay, if we take average guide in CloudBot, when any creator claims that okay, there is a short guide to launch your own CloudBot, uh, I personally tried it. We've discussed with guys from the community. And as for the comments of it, people just say that by launching CloudBot, default CloudBot, they get something like a bit retarded AI assistant who forgets messages you had 2 minutes before and so on. So you have to launch the skills. You have to get the pull market API to trade with to send the transactions, to execute the trades, and so on. And yeah, for now we have trading bots and prediction markets, but they're manual coded. And if creator claims that this bot prints a lot of money, he literally loses his edge because when a lot of people started following the same trading pattern, so yeah, mispricing is gone. That's it. The edge is lost.
Yeah, I mean, I know that the post that you're referring to too, like, you see these posts like 52, 2,000 or $3,000 or something like that, or 50 to $10,000. And a lot of times, like, I was talking to someone from Bloomberg today actually on this exact subject. And a lot of times, like, when you read the fine print, you're like, well, it's kind of impossible to produce those gains with the markets that you were assigning to the bot. Like, for instance, if you were trading, like, there's only a couple markets where you can make money in like a couple, like a huge gains in like a few days. And one of those markets is, of course, like the 15-minute, 5-minute markets. But if you're trading like other types of markets, which a lot of times it's the dead giveaway of these posts, you're not going to be making that level of gains, just
Yeah,
because
exactly.
the time scale is not on. It's not possible, right?
Yeah.
So that was one point that was brought up, which I thought was really good. Um, I'm curious as to like, do you think there's any kind of edge that you can get with the Clawdbot? Like, do you think it's possible to get any edge at like? I- Okay, so I guess what I'm trying to ask you is, have you sorted out the legit from the non-legit? Like, do you think there
Okay.
is some legitimacy to this?
With no doubt, we can extract the value from CloudBot usage because if this technology exists, then okay, then it makes sense. And yeah, it's an AI assistant if you launch the correct skills to it. If you set up the prompt, the chat in the correct way, then you'll have a cool AI assistant for daily usage because it may help with some regular tasks and so on to make a schedule of your working day and so on, to make an analysis of this or that market. Uh, I can say that you can use it for trading, for automation of your trading, but you can analyze with it. Yeah, sometimes it can collect the information from the sometimes it can collect open source information very good. And yeah, in this way, the CloudBot is a cool feature. It it's just recently launched, and it got a lot of traction from, in my opinion, not best content creators. Even the content creators who tried to make quality tweets and so on to trade Polo Market, they just see that such themes about insane gains with CloudBot gains a lot of traction, and they're just moving to the viral content. And as we see for now, yeah, X tries to beat it.
Do you find that bots that we're at a point where bots are destroying your edge as a trader? Like, are you feeling that yet or no? Because personally, I'm not feeling it. Like people, like I jump into a market. I even jumped into the 5 minute markets on Bitcoin, and I know that there's a lot of bot traders. I still made money. I mean, I guess I'm curious if you're like, for the more advanced traders out there, like how are they feeling the pressure of the the onslaught of bots that are coming into the market, with Polymarket specifically?
Okay, in my opinion, okay, if you take 5 minute market, I don't think that trading bots have some influence on manual traders on prediction markets. In my opinion, trading bots just eliminate the inefficiency, they farm the mispricing of some odds. For example, okay, some tiny mispricing and so on. As for manual trader, I think you can feel it, but I'm not feeling it for now because if you take 5 minute markets, in majority of times you play for the outcome. You don't play for the higher or cheaper odds. You just bet on up and down and so on. And yeah, while trading bots trade with much high frequency, uh, you just execute the transaction while the cloud bot executed five of them, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very interesting how bots are different than maybe bots in crypto world, because I feel like, because of that resolution, like I'm playing for the resolution, right? I'm not playing for like the volatility swings or whatever. I mean, obviously good entries are important, but like, man, like it's really kind of different with prediction markets because it's so event based. Um, I mean, I
Yeah.
definitely noticed more efficiency on Polymarket though. Like I've noticed that, it used to be a lot easier to find mispricings, right? And like used to be able to go to a market and yeah, it was just a lot easier to find mispricings. Like now it seems like I go to a market when I hear a story and it's like, oh, well, it's already like, I go to the Iran market, for instance, and it's already priced up, right? Like immediately when I go. So I don't know if you've noticed that as well, but
Yeah, cloud bots are mostly concentrated at high frequency markets. where manual trader, yeah, exactly plays for outcome. It's not about, for example, election markets when on the markets where the duration of resolution takes years or months and so on. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why.
yeah. I think it's pretty interesting. I mean, I'm curious, like, are we kind of entering into a phase where, I think you already kind of answered this, but do you think that at some point the markets will get too tough for manual traders? Like, do you think we're going to enter into a phase where, like, we're not even able, where like a manual trader really isn't even able to play most of these short dated markets anymore, sports, whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I'm just wondering what's the timeline on that if there is one.
that's good. That's a good one question because, okay, then trading bots will trade against the trading bots and just fight. Okay,
Yeah,
fight for the last crumbs, and in this way, yeah, manual trader will be just okay, just out of the game.
yeah, yeah. That would be kind
But
of.
I don't
Oh yeah,
think
go ahead.
this in the nearest future, if it is possible, because uh, I don't think because the person is everywhere still. It has it still have his own place. Okay, I've studied some. Uh, I studied how people control the airspace like 2 or 3 years ago, and there were talks about will could the AI replace the human, and it will take a lot of more time than it's estimated for now. In my opinion, in opinion of thousands of people are not ready to accept the AI on 100%, and that's fair. I agree with that.
I have a question kind of going back to the Clawdbot thing. Like, have you ever met, like, do you know any traders personally that have made money off building like a agent or a bot that have made huge amounts of money? Without maybe revealing like their strategies or anything like that. I'm curious if you've, out of all the traders you've covered, if you've ever come across one that you're like, okay, this guy might be for real. Um,
Uh,
if you want to shout out his handle.
yeah. I think I have one because there is a guy who developed the AI assistant, not the train bot, but AI assistant who just can uh, estimate the odds in a more proper way than it is on 5 or 15 minute markets. I can give you a handle. You can scroll the page, and yeah, I think
Yeah,
this
let's
will be
let's look them
interesting
up.
enough. Yeah, type the Kraja keys. Okay, K
A O K
A alpha
A
J J
J
E.
E.
Yeah, he is.
This guy.
Yeah, this one.
All right.
He's
Let's
kind of
see.
smart. We have a convo, and as I know, he develops his own something like tool for learning, for studying the analysis of 5 and 15 minute markets.
Oh, bro, this is my city. This is Boston.
Oh,
This is where I live.
that's Boston. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah, I recognize it. Yeah. Maybe this guy's located here. I don't know. Yeah, I recognize that. That's interesting.
Some
Okay,
of
so
his posts might, yeah, some of his posts might seem similar to the tweets of other AI sloppers, AI creators, and so on. But if you dig deeper, it will make the difference because this guy has the results in the back of him, and yeah,
interesting. Yeah, it looks like he's written a few articles too, like
I really
15.
hate such. I really hate such pictures, but yeah, okay, it depends.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it depends. Like I'm sure there's a few legit people in here who are actually making a ton of money. Like I was talking to yesterday I was talking to a high frequency trader the other day who basically only does these 5 minute, 15-minute markets, firm based out of Singapore, I believe. and they're really meticulous about everything, right? Like they're like, okay, we need the code that the API is running on to route orders. We need that to be like, really low level code, first off. We need a server that is located really close to the poly market, right? Or he was saying like Dublin or something could be a good place. But like they're so meticulous about these strategies, and every bit of margin matters, because when you're optimizing for speed, I think that's like a huge factor into this stuff.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah. So he was actually contacted us because he was looking for like kickbacks, for a strategy that he was trying to run. But like, has this guy talked about that at all? Like, have the traders you talked about, without, again, without revealing their strategies, have they given you any technical tips on how to run one of these things?
I personally didn't dig deep enough because I think that 5 minute markets is the field that already overtaken by trading bots, because if you look at the chart and when you look in the order book moves much faster than chart does, because uh, exactly these trading bots who take the Chainlink API or directly from Chainlink and so on. Yeah, they can see the price and track to it much more faster than manual trader, because manual trader just sees the chart on the bull market. He clicks on the buttons. It takes milliseconds, but it takes seconds to make a decision, to click the buttons, to execute the transaction. While the trading bot, the real trading bot, not the cloud bot, already did it. And yeah, just monitoring the 5 minute charts, you can see that order book overruns the chart. And yeah, I didn't dig deeper, but this guy trades 4 hour markets of Bitcoin for our 15 minutes of Bitcoin, and he has kind of good successes. He shared to me in DMs, and I'm much inspired of the structure this guy is building right now. It's still in private beta and so on. I was given a chance to look at the UI UX, and yeah, this looks kind of cool stuff.
Looks like we got a few comments here too. We got uh, what? Oh man, the font is so small I can't even read. We got Trad Life saying, "Kyle, you're the legend." We got Poly Market History saying, "Hey guys, a shout out to Poly Market History. We love those guys."
I love
Um,
these guys. Yeah.
yeah, so I think, man, I think, what was I going to say? So I think one of the things I want to talk about is I want to get your perspective on 5 minute, 15-minute markets, right? This is like all the rage right now. Do you think this is good or bad? Like, do you think that, Vitalik, I think, came out with a tweet recently, like maybe like a week ago. And he was like, no, I think they're bad, because I think basically it's bad for the prediction market space. They're just kind of dopamine hits. They suck liquidity out of more legit markets. Pure gamble fi. There's no positive upside to the 5 minute, 15-minute markets from like a utility point of view. It's pure gamble. Um, do you agree with, and plus they need, I'm assuming they need like a lot of liquidity to facilitate. Just curious on your perspective on these. Like, are they good? Are they bad? Like, what do you think about these new markets that are popping up?
Okay. In my opinion, it has its own place, because uh, okay, we got a bunch of communities that comes to trading prediction markets with some gamble issues. They just want to flip some modes on the high frequency markets, and 5 min, 15 min markets are perfectly suited to it, to them, because yeah, it just gives such opportunity. Okay, there is malfunctions like such markets just suck out the liquidity from really nice markets. But okay, if we're looking from the side of manual trader who really enjoys predicting in its real sense, he will never touch such markets. And if you're talking about the gambler guys Okay, they just want to gamble. Okay, we have such people. I used to be the same people, the same person, 2 or 3 years ago, and yeah, and looking from the polo market side, it has more volumes and the general statistics. It has more users coming on daily to trade polo market, to trade 5, 15 minute markets. Um, yeah, and these stats just showing how attractive polo market at this moment. Because okay, the same take can be applied to the sports sector because the sports sector can be modelized, can be analyzed, and in some kind this is also a gamble because yeah, either you won or lost. uh, I don't touch such markets like sports or 5 min, except for the moments I want to have some dopamine. As you said, yeah, dopamine is good, but it matters how you get it.
Yeah, I think man, out of all the traders you've or maybe out of all the markets you've covered in the past, it's something that I'm obsessing over right now is just finding a mispriced market, right? And I'm curious, like, what do you think right now is the most mispriced market out there? Like, is there a sector that you're looking at that you think we should kind of turn our attention to a little bit? I'm curious about what you're looking at as a trader. Like, what are you looking at right now? What do you think is kind of a good uh, it's kind of a weird question because if it's mispriced, it would give away your your strategy. But maybe like if you've already jumped into maybe like a sector or something like that that you're interested in.
Yeah, okay. Over the last months, I've taken a little break for trading prediction markets because you get your mind blown and so on. Okay, yeah. I said that I see a lot of cool tweets, a lot of good takes about the U.S. Iran conflict. I see that the odds are incredibly high. I don't know why, and I just set the alerts from open source channels to be aware of it if something will about or will happen. And yeah, I just don't know why the odds are so high on US strike because such sections are terrible. And as for me, as a like as for the person, and as for the trader, yeah, here comes the age to predict, to extract some positive value from it. Yeah, it's kind of interesting market for now because we already had uh, quite similar odds on US Iran conflict because on the 15th of January, and it was a day when the US president just declined everything in the last minute. And if we already got the same odds, the quite similar odds to the January ones, it seems like yeah, something is about to happen, and yeah, nothing is talked by US government in public. uh, yeah,
Yeah.
I think upcoming week might be much interesting in this way, in this sense.
Yeah, I mean, full disclosure, I did actually jump into some March 6 bets um, on the Iran thing. But the thing that I've been noticing too is man, who's that guy who covers Iran a lot? Like man, I don't remember anyone's handle. That's my problem. Um, Here he is.
Oh, this guy, yeah, he's kind of
Yeah,
good in politics, geopolitics. Yeah, I have an alert on him. Yeah, this can be cool.
yeah. He's really been covering it. And to be honest with you, he bets mostly no on everything. So what he's been doing is, I think to your question, I think like why does it keep going up? I think there's so many people tracking movements of like military personnel going to Iran. I think there's a lot of like hypo around this whole sector of like, will the US strike Iran, right? They're moving military equipment to the Middle East supposedly. There's a lot of people that get quite a bit of hits off of that from social media and stuff. I'm not saying it's fake news. I'm just saying like there's a lot of news around it And I think honestly, it's a good opportunity to bet no. I mean, this guy right here has just been betting no on almost every time it pumps up, and he's made money off of it. So like but yeah, I mean, what's your opinion on that in terms of like there's more manipulation now, right? With like Twitter and prediction markets.
Yeah, of course. And as for this guy, I don't know if he uses some twink accounts for trading such amounts, because it's not a secret. He's and same as a bunch of other OG bull market traders get copy traded by hundreds and thousands of other people. And yeah, this guy in this case, in case of Iron US strike, he's just trading fear. And it's kind of good edge when you experience enough. You have takes to prove to yourself firstly, and prove to your community. And in in addition, you get copy traded by other people who will pump your shares. And yeah, this is the way how this guy is sitting with, okay, not to be missing with six-figure profit and topper. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's who are your kind of favorite traders that you've covered? Because you've covered a lot of traders. And I'm just wondering, like, who are the ones that you think are the best to follow? I know they would probably hate that, but like, like in terms of just like people that you think are very talented at this, um, I'm curious who you think is kind of like the best one, or a couple of the best ones.
In my opinion, as for the creator, as for the reader of content on X, I think the best trader is the one who shares his calls, his positions on X, because yeah, that's the way how traders gain trust and so on. There is a lot of cool traders who are non-public, who are just trading, and okay, that's enough for them. I think there are a lot of people with exactly bull market traders badge who deserve it, who deserve the name of it, like bull market trader. Yeah, these guys are for real bull market traders. And yeah, if you go to the affiliates of bull market traders account, there will be a bunch of people who, okay, they're really trading good. They're not faking their opinions. They're not wash trading and so on. Like, yeah, okay. And we got here at Tsupka, yeah, if we look into the side of geopolitics, the politics, for me is Tsupka number one, because he's not only trading but also sharing his past and so on. Um, okay, I can say the Greek gambler. He has not the single account in the bull market. As you know, we had a little converse with him on some topics about mention markets. And yeah, in my opinion, he's one or maybe the top one uh, in the field of mention markets. Yeah, this guy is kind of experienced because yeah, he has his public path to prove his edge. Okay, maybe we'll revise some real traders who are not even public, like
Oh
Doma,
yeah.
okay,
Mhm.
something like that. Yeah, this guy is not only the smart trader but smart X creator, because I see his tweets, I see the source he tweets about, and yeah, this kind of content really really worthy, because some people just tweet in order to gain traction, in order to gain some respect or some more views, less views. Yeah, these guys just don't care. They just they're just showing uh, the traits they did, and that's enough for them. And that's why I give them a huge respect. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think these three guys will be enough. Okay, something like that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's so funny because I asked Domer that same question, and he was like, "No, I'm not answering that." because he, you know, because like it's very competitive, right? Like I think like for me, I have no problem because I'm not a pro trader. So I'll be fine. Like, look, I try and learn from other people, but when you're a pro trader, it's like, no, you're not going to highlight someone else's abilities, because it's competitive. Um, and it's something that's interesting to me is just how competitive the space is when it comes to trading. And like,
Yeah,
to be
kind
honest,
of.
I'd like to see someone make like an S tier list, like an S, B, C, like one of those ranking lists for trade specifically. No one's done that yet, but that would be crazy.
I have seen some tier lists on X about content creators, but I didn't about the bull market traders exactly because people who create on X in their majority are just looking for engagement, and that's bit enough because real traders on bull market are too much underestimated. Uh, Real alpha stays on bull market in my opinion, the same as real X alpha stays on X.
So, Kyle, I don't want to keep you too much longer because we're coming up to uh, almost 40 minutes here, but I just want to kind of ask you a couple more questions. One of the questions I want to get from you, and again, like I think I'd like to kind of get your pulse on the industry right now on you know with maybe like Polymarket, but also like in terms of uh,
Prediction markets in general, yeah.
yeah, prediction markets in general. How do I phrase this? So my first question is, what do you think the most overrated meta is right now in prediction markets? Which I think I know the answer. It's probably I think you're probably going to say Clawdbots, but I just wanted to ask you just to, like just to see what you thought.
Yeah, we have some local methods, and the one which is overrated by masses is Cloudbots, is automated trading. And when too much people talk about the same thing, the edge is lost. It's how it worked, it's how it will work, and that's what we see now. Cloud bots, trading bots, automated trading, the edge, the biggest edge is already lost because a lot of people trying to follow the same pattern, and they just literally burning their money trying to in race for bigger money. That's it. Yeah.
And so my final question too is poly markets introducing fees into certain markets, right? Sports markets, certain sports
Yeah.
markets, obviously the 15-minute, 5-minute markets. Um, what do you think this bodes for the future of prediction markets like poly market? You think this is good? Do you think this is bad? Um, what's your opinion on the direction of things right now as more fees start to enter into the market, into prediction markets in general?
I don't think that the fees will be crucial thing to distract the people from pool market. And coming from the thought that pool market is number one prediction markets over the world, I think the other prediction markets like Kalshi and so on will just follow the pattern as they always do. And fees are being implemented on sex on dexes and so on. And it's kind of familiar thing for most of the traders, and they will just have to accept the reality and to trade with some tiny fees. Okay, I don't think that will be crucial. Maybe talking about 5 minute 15-minute markets, it will eliminate some, it will decrease some gains of high frequency bots, but nothing crucial in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like my opinion on this too is like even if fees were to be added, and I was having this conversation earlier today, what Polymarket is really succeeding at is coming up with ways to basically bootstrap liquidity into these markets. I mean, I think the decentralized DeFi component to Polymarket is really beneficial for like creating these new markets because then you can do things like you add rewards, right? You add
Yeah.
more rewards for liquidity providers. You add, like it just seems like they're able to, like, even with the fees being added, and that's why they're adding it to these specific markets too, these like high dopamine kind of rush markets, because I think that like the grand plan is to create an easy way to bootstrap liquidity for all of these markets, and fees are going to help with that, obviously. So
Yeah,
I do see it as a
kind
net
of.
positive.
Yeah, as I know, the all the fees or about the all fees are being redirected to liquidity wise, to
Hmm.
liquidity providers, and yeah, this kind of this exact bootstrap for liquidity, the main problem of prediction markets for now. Yeah, it's I want to believe that it will be eliminated with fees implementation.
Yeah, I think it will be. I think it will be because right now there's only like, I think Polymarket's giving out. Man, I don't even know if this is up to date, but I saw like $160,000 in rewards or something like that, which is not much. But with fees implemented, like now it's going to really make sense for you to provide liquidity, right? Like now it's totally incentivized. So
Yeah,
I think it's going
exactly.
to solve the problem.
No, for now, it's just the matter of time. Okay, how long will it take to implement? How long it will take to adapt, and so on. Yeah,
Yeah, cool, man. Well, Kyle, thanks for coming on. It's awesome to have you. Yeah, feel free to come on any other time. Just ping me, and we'll set something up.
yeah. Much appreciate the talk. That was awesome. To be honest, I think this is the best space I've visited so far.
Nice. That's awesome to hear, man. Thank you so much. Cool. All right. Well, let's. Yeah, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah,